How do you go about now assessing what you want to change, what you want to update? Do you want to change anything? And what's the process that you're going to go through over the next couple of weeks to prepare for day one of preseason, as Jordi just said, with a squad that arguably did everything they could have done correctly from the outside, looking in for last season?
Well, fortunately, I guess being in the hub in Perth across the finals series allowed Darren and I to spend a lot of time together developing the off-season program, even before either of us knew that he would be leaving the organisation. So it allowed us to make sure that there was an alignment between what our conditioning program was going to be, along with the strength and power program. And so even with Darren moving on, there was a lot of time and effort had gone into the development of that program, and the philosophies and the principles that have been set at the Demons organisation, that's not going to change now that I'm the high performance manager. We have a strong belief in the ability for our players to be fit and be strong, and so we want to continue taking that forwards. Now, the other thing is making sure that you understand what worked and what didn't work. And that was probably the beauty of Darren and I's relationship, in constantly challenging what we believe is important. And that probably then leads me onto, me stepping up into that role in making sure that I maintain what's important and don't get too caught up in change for the sake of change, because I think too often you can get caught into, now it's my program, I'm going to do it differently because I'm Selwyn and he's Darren. And, Burjo's been in the industry for a number of years, and success leaves clues. And so for me, it's important to understand what clues were left in the last 12 months, because we unfortunately only had 12 months together, and how can I continue to take that forward? So from that perspective, the key of off-season program is compliance. And so the program that you write, Lockie, for GWS or Parramatta, and the program that I write for the Melbourne Demons, fundamentally there won't be too many differences. But in the key is in the compliance of the athlete actually completing the program, and seeing and making them understand the importance of completing it to maintain performance and improve their physical qualities. And so for me, the biggest thing with taking over the program and after we won the grand final was sitting in their exit meetings and understand what is actually motivating them for the off-season and the 12 months moving forwards, and then aligning that with their off-season program. And so then I basically, over the first 2 weeks where they had no formalised training, I just touched base with each athlete and gave them what I believe their individual focus was, based on what they said in their exit meeting and how it aligns with the football player that they want to be, and what that looks like from a physical capacities perspective, because that's what we can help develop in the off-season to allow them to do more football development once they come back at pre-season.
Is there anything that stood out this year that you could impart to other coaches that are going through team sports as a bit of a, look out for these key principles, these key things, because it was different in a premiership team than a non-premiership team?
Yeah, I think the important thing is to understand that probably there was a little bit of the foundation that was building prior to this 12 months. And so the work that Burjo and the performance and medical team had done prior to me coming to the organisation, and the foundation that Goody had set with his coaches around our game plan. And so I think the biggest element from a football performance perspective is our playing group and our coaches, and even to a degree us as performance staff, really understand our game plan and understand what our strengths are, and make sure that we keep that as the pivot, the primary point of our program. And so if you were to look at our training sessions across in-season and what the focuses are, it's really strongly aligned with how Melbourne Demons want to play the Melbourne way. And that is a key element that I think for us as performance coaches, we need to understand is how do our conditioning philosophies and principles, and how do our strength and power conditioning philosophies and principles help to encourage that and help to facilitate that. Because if our players aren't on the field developing from a team dynamics and a game plan perspective, it doesn't matter how good your strength and power prescription is or how good your assessments are to individualise and bucket athletes. If they don't improve the team dynamics and cohesion of being able to implement the game plan, you're not going to win games of football. And so through the last 2 years, what Burjo had done from a conditioning philosophy was build the physical capacities up to allow them to tolerate to do more football and develop their skill component at a greater capacity.